Ongoing progress now with the mid-level. Finally got skeleton for the baseboard in place, and now just checking measurements with the outside of the track plan, how exactly the boards are going to go in, or where I need to add some extensions. Strengthening, I think under this board here, they'll probably be at the corner here. Probably need another leg, that sort of thing. This will be the steelworks power plant, heavy industry area here with a switching yard. Moving into the port area at the rear. There'll be a harbour scene at the back, a grain elevator, cranes, dock, and some sidings, spurs. The front here is the entry into the steelworks yard, and return loop. There'll be a local station here on this piece of track for the steel workers, harbour workers to take a train to work. And that will then link up here with the existing part of the mid-level. So, lots of work to do yet. Lots of work to do, even just to get some track down here. On the upper level, now got what will become the parking spot, the entries to the offices for the auto plant in place there. Basically got some track down, painted all the base now a dark color to get rid of the blue foam color before we start putting any scenery up. So for the mid-level here, I've added LED lighting. These are the fluorescent. I've added LED lighting here in this middle section, fluorescent there. What I eventually tend to do is begin the day just with the LED lights to look like a sort of dawn, dusk lighting, and then at about 8 o'clock on the fast clock then automatically turn on the fluorescent lights to emulate daytime, as it were. Anyway, that's the sort of idea I'm working on. That's a little switch machines. They're quite neat little things. And under here, for the lower level, I've got switch machines in place. And just like regular fish plate, everything's temporary. Here is a temporary panel, because this won't even be the extension here. They'll be a little bit further out here where I'll have the actual fascia here with a proper panel. But here at least I can operate some switches. So at least I can do a little bit of playing around. The other switches I can operate by hand for the time being. Anyway, this is coming along as well. This is neat stuff. This is plasterer's tape. Plasterers put this with a little bit of glue across all the cracks in walls, etc., and plaster over it. It's quite strong once it's been glued in place. And I'm using that now with some 50% PVA white glue to glue in all the cracks in the boards. And when they dry up, it goes really thin, and you can just paint over it, and it's all gone. Okay, this scene still needs some work. For instance, painting all the the cracks up here again. I'll be doing a bit of that soon as well. Okay. Okay, I mentioned in the previous vlog that I was going to add the auto assembly plant from Walthers, which is kit 9333079, which is I don't think it's made anymore at the moment. It's quite difficult to get. There are a few on eBay, and I got this one a while back. Anyway, it's quite a big structure with an awful lot of parts in it. This was second hand, so it's been previously opened, and I've been having a look at it to see how I'm going to tackle it. One of the things you need to do on these Walthers kits is quite often look at painting them. I'll give an example. I've been doing a little bit of experimenting before I actually start building it on the paint scheme. You know, what would the paint scheme look like? The colors and things like that. I'll show you a couple of pictures, but I've been doing some painting of parts, some well, light weathering. You might be able to see it here. The brickwork with a little bit of wash on it. There you go. You can bring the brickwork out a little bit, because otherwise it's quite a bland piece. This is an original piece out of the box. You can see that there is texture for the brickwork, but it's very bland, so you really need to work it up. And with all the tips I've been getting on YouTube from people like Modeler Man Mike, Everard Junction, Glebro Junction, many people doing weathering. I've had a crack at it, and here's an example of some brickwork with a bit of wash done. You can just bring out the brickwork. You can compare the two here. But for instance, the cladding on the rear of the plant, this is the color you get in the kit, which is just a plain yellow. If you look at the plant picture, you can see the cladding here at the back is a blue color. So I quite like the Pike Stuff blue color, so I bought a can of paint which was similar. I've painted a section now. You can see here the section in the bland yellow, and this is the color I think I'll be using for the cladding on the rear of the factory. Also, as far as brickwork goes, as I said, the color they give you here is quite bland, and here in Northern Europe, Northwest Europe, brickwork tends to be a red color for the most part. So after giving the brickwork a bit of a wash with the black, I did a light spray with a plain brown that I have. The brickwork now with a reddish brick color, and the black and the white wash now bringing out the mortar in the brickwork. This is the color I think I'll be using, at least for the sides. I've painted the sills white because the structure window frames are all just plain grey. So with the darker brick, I'm going to here, so I've painted some examples with white. So I'll show some pictures. But this is what I'm trying to get. The effect I'm trying to get to with is a white window frame with a dark brick. So I think I've got the colour scheme now worked out, and now it's a question of all these parts in here, is picking them out, painting them first before assembling them together.